Okay, so now, dear participants around the world, I am Melina Belinco. I'm the Vice President of WIN Global. And on behalf of our organization, it is a great pleasure to welcome you all to the virtual launch of our highly anticipated Global Mentoring Program on the margins of the International Day of Women and Girls in Science, which was celebrated last Sunday, February 11th. On this occasion, let us take a moment to acknowledge the relevance of equality and diversity in science and technology. When we talk about access to equal education and to career development, human rights are at stake, and the international community has recognized the equal right to quality education of everyone and committed to achieving gender equality in all fields, including education. However, despite progress, women and girls continue to face multiple barriers based on gender and its intersections with other factors, such as age, ethnicity, poverty, and disability. Therefore, WIN Global is thrilled to be able to provide this program, which is a crucial tool for professional development and leadership. And we want to express our gratitude to each member of the WIN Global Mentoring Committee for their dedication and commitment. The agenda of this event includes an opening session, a panel discussion followed by a first-hand testimony of one mentor and one mentee who are already actively participating in the program, a session dedicated to the use of the Mentor City platform, and a Q&A session to address the questions the audience may have related to all the sessions of the event. And I would like to clarify that we are committed to respecting your time and don't exceed the 90 minutes allocated for the whole event. But we understand that you might need more time to ask questions, especially those related to the use of the platform. So once we officially close the event, participants will have the chance to stay connected and receive more feedback. And you can write your questions in the chat. So and now for the opening session, it is my great pleasure to give the floor to Dominique Mouillot, WIN Global President, to share her welcome remarks with us. So Dominique, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you, Melina, for your nice introduction. Dear DJ Magwood, dear winners, dear participants around the world, as WIN Global President, I am very proud to launch our highly anticipated Global Mentoring Program, and as Melina said, on the occasion of the International Day of Women and Girls in Science. As you may know, at the World Nuclear Symposium 2023, WIN Global officially announced the launch of this program, which is already connecting winners with both mentors and mentees in the global nuclear sector. For many years, WIN Global grappled with the best way to help members build mentoring relationships, a vital element to professional development and leadership development. As WIN Global continued to grow in size and scope, the demand for a systemic approach to mentoring catered to the 35,000 members in over 145 countries and spanning 60 chapters has also grown. Now, with the dedication of the WIN Global Mentoring Committee, which was chaired by Lisa McBride, and the key support of Thomas Thor and Callum, WIN Global is ready to provide this highly required need to the global nuclear sector. Mentoring, we know, is crucial if we are to promote diverse and inclusive leadership in all areas of the nuclear industry. Wind Global has always been committed to offering access to mentoring and training programs, specifically in the STEM fields, in gender issues, and in leadership and management skills. These areas are key to climbing the career ladder, improving access to networking spaces, and enhancing the exchange of knowledge between generations. Therefore, your young talent attraction is another key priority for WIN. To promote the active involvement of young people in WIN Global and in the nuclear sector, in 2021, we launched our WIN Global Young Generation Group. It is crucial for us to bridge generational gaps and benefit from the experience women and senior leaders can share as role models and mentors, which facilitates motivating opportunities for professional development for young women and girls. Let me take a moment to personally thank DJ Mahmoud for his commitment and for the continued support of the NEA. We are extremely honored to have built this strong and fruitful partnership, and we can already see its first positive results. We are working closely together to address the current challenges of the nuclear industry in a wide variety of areas of common interest. In particular, in the field of mentoring and youth engagement, we have reached a significant milestone as we co-organized for the second consecutive year a joint international mentoring session with young professionals and students within the framework of our most relevant annual event, which is our annual conference. In 2022 in Japan and last year in Egypt. Thank you so much to all the team of NEA and to you, if I can take the permission, and to you, William. I also want to mention that, as you know, the nuclear industry is growing at a rapid pace. Supporting people who join their sector or develop their careers within the nuclear field is a crucial initiative for success. This program benefits the industry, supporting organizational transfer knowledge and flourishes future leaders. From a WIN Global perspective, it will enhance the expansion of a talent pipeline for the future workforce by providing opportunity to engage across the sector to develop both personally and professionally. WIN Global is using the Mentor City platform, which enables individuals to register for free as either mentor, mentee, or both. This is a fantastic platform, and I also want to thank Sean Mintz, president of Mentor City, and his team for their support. As final remark, I would say that the program welcomes members at all stages of their careers and students. Such an approach promotes the professional and personal development of participants, no matter their seniority within the nuclear sector. So please take action and be part of this exciting program. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dominique. And now it is a great honor for me to introduce Mr. William Mahmoud, the Director General of the OECD Nuclear Energy Agency. Thank you so much for your extra effort to be here today with us. And please, DG Mahmoud, the floor is all yours.
Thank you very much, Melina, and it's good to see you. And Dominique, my thanks to both of you for your leadership, as well as Lisa for the work that she's put into this initiative. This is a very important initiative in so many ways, and I really want to thank you for bringing this to reality. It's the sort of thing that people talk about, but never seems to actually happen. So the fact you've pulled this together is very exciting, and I certainly think it's going to be very successful. Certainly, since we have engaged the issue of gender balance, I think everyone involved has learned a great deal. And usually we learn that the situation is actually worse and more difficult than we thought it was just from anecdotal evidence. When you look at the numbers, as you know, we did a survey a few years ago where we heard from 8,000 women around the world in 37 nuclear organizations and found that only about 20% of the science and technology workforce in the sector is female. And as you go up the leadership chain, that number disappears very, very quickly. It's interesting to note that this concept of the leaky pipeline that we have talked about a great deal is just everywhere. It shows up really almost every part of the world. Today, I'm actually in Addis Ababa in Africa for a meeting with the African Union, and we're talking about collaboration between the NEA and the African Union on nuclear. And the discussion has quickly focused on human capacity building. And one of the AU commissioners, commented to me that she saw numbers recently that show that about 47% of STEM graduates in Africa are female, but only 5% of the STEM workforce is female. And so her concern is, what is happening? Why can't we keep these young ladies in the workforce? And of course, she answered her own question. There's lots of reasons why. Many of them are cultural, financial, practical, a wide range of issues, but it shows that every part of the world really has these challenges. That's why, as you know, that last year, the NEA pushed hard to get an OECD recommendation on addressing gender balance in the nuclear sector, which resulted in significant recommendations. If countries were to actually implement everything that they signed up to, it would change everything. It really would, because it's not just talk. It would be action. Action focused on attracting more women into the workforce, and then taking care of them once they get into the workforce to deal with issues that discriminate against women because they have families to care for, or because they're women and they have to deal with a lot of difficulties in the workplace. These things can be addressed. These things can be dealt with if the leadership is there. And so we I believe, through the work of a task group that was led by Fiona Raymond at the National Nuclear Laboratory, put together ideas and recommendations that could make a huge difference if the leadership is there to implement them. And we'll find out, because part of the framework is to collect data to see what is actually happening around the world. So that's something we're going to be working on quite diligently. Fiona's group has become named as a high-level group within our agency, reporting directly to the steering committee, and they are right now formulating the next steps to make sure that these recommendations are implemented and to track what's going on in the world. And I think that, I think I've heard people talk about this in terms of the fairness and human rights. I think, Melina, you use those terms, but it's even as important as that is. It is really about the success of our societies. We just simply can't afford to have half the population be underrepresented in critical areas of science and technology. As I said, I'm here in Africa, and Africa is trying to develop, trying to pull people out of poverty. There's no way that happens if you leave half the workforce on the sidelines. Everyone can see that looks at it. Leadership sees it. So the question is, what does it take to go from the recognition of the issue to making sure that these problems are addressed and that women are enabled and empowered to play their full role and potential in nuclear and other fields as well. One of the things that we have learned as we've gone into these activities, as I think many of you know, we hold mentoring workshops for young women ranging between high school age and young professionals. And we have seen very clearly that if there's one issue that comes up over and over again when you're talking to young women all over the world, it's the lack of role models, the lack of women that they can look to and talk to that have accomplished the sorts of things that they would aspire to, and to show them that it can happen. Because it's so easy to tell a 16-year-old girl that she can't be an engineer when she's never seen a female engineer. So we need to show them female engineers. And that's why what you're doing is so important. The role model, I don't think people understand how powerful this is. The role models that are out there, that we are now doing more and more to try to get role models in front of young women, really do send the signal that I can do this. I can be an engineer, I can be a scientist, I can be an architect, I can be a doctor, I can be whoever I want. And when they see the role model, they talk to the role model, it brings it home, and it makes really a life-changing impact. So congratulations on this initiative, congratulations on this work. And as Dominique said, the collaboration between the NEA and WIN Global is one of our most important relationships. And I think that you're going to find, as time goes on, that things like this will emerge more and more often as we go forward together to address what is really a very serious shortfall in all of our societies. And very proud to be working with all of you to bring all this about. So, Melina, thank you. And I have to run back to my meeting with the African Union, but have a successful webinar, and please let us know wherever we can help.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your inspiring statement, DG Macwood. And we know both you and Dominique have other commitments, but if you can only stay 2 more minutes to take a group photo with all the panelists and everyone who can turn on the camera, that would be great. Let me change. Let me check. Yeah, with the panelists, are we ready? So you can smile. Okay. Okay, so thank you so much again, DG Macwood and Dominique, and thank you for your continued commitment and for participating in this relevant event. So we move forward now for the panel discussion, our next session in this event. And for that, I am very pleased to present Natalie Bonilla, Deputy Head of the Office of Policy and Coordination at the NEA, who will moderate this session. Thank you so much for your support, Natalie. Always a pleasure to work with you, and the floor is all yours. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Melina. Thank you for the opportunity to be here and participate in this exciting event. It's really my pleasure to moderate the next session, as we have a number of esteemed speakers. We will be hearing from each one by one, and I am sure that as questions arise, and they will from each of you, please do not hesitate to note those questions down, as we will have the opportunity toward the end of the program to revisit your questions in particular. So I'd like to begin. First, we have as our panelist, Mr. Callum Thomas. He is the founder and chair of Thomas Thor. So Mr. Thomas, we'd like to hear, for those listening in the audience today, how can they get maximum value from this WIN Global Mentoring Program?
Thank you. Thanks, and thank you for inviting me today. So yeah, good question to start with. And I think for everyone, it's a different journey with mentoring. But probably the first thing to say is that Mentor City is a great platform, but it's a platform, and it requires us as people to make this mentoring program come alive, which takes an effort. So, you know, when I talk to people, I run a global recruiting and search company and talk to people all the time that are going up in their careers. And when you talk to really successful people, nearly always they'll tell you that they achieved their success thanks to many people helping them along the way. Sometimes they call them mentors, sometimes they call them advisors, sometimes they'll call them angels. You know, but people have had this support. Sometimes it's through a structured mentoring program, and sometimes it's very informal. It might be at the water cooler or at social events. But it's a theme. It's an absolute theme that people that really succeed very often have done so through mentoring. So the main thing, that probably the first thing to say about getting maximum value is to make that effort. Just joining the mentoring program, whether it's in your company or whether it's this amazing global mentoring program here, is the very first step. But then you need to really think about what you want to get from it. And the more specific you are, then the more valuable the mentoring will be. If you are not sure what you want, you may think, well, I'm coming to the mentoring program because I'm not sure what I want. But actually, you really do need, I encourage everyone to really think about what you want. You may not know exactly the path you want to take, but you will know the direction. You'll know the type of career you're looking for, or the type of locations, or the type of career progression that you're looking for. And I'd encourage everyone signing up to the program to really think about what are the questions that they would like to answer? Where are the gaps in their knowledge? Maybe they're considering doing a PhD, or they're considering moving into small modular reactors, or they're considering going into nuclear medicine, or they're considering moving to a certain country, but they don't know how to do that. If they can think about where they would like to go, or the types of directions they want to take, and if they can then articulate that through the Mentor City platform, then that information can be used to find a mentor who has taken a similar path. And that's the key. Finding the mentor-mentee relationship is absolutely key. And the more specific you are as a mentee, talking about the direction you want to take, or as a mentor, being clear about the journeys you've been on, then the easier it is for mentors and mentees to find each other and get these amazing pairings where there's real value being added on both parties. The other thing about maximum value is around telling people about the platform. This will grow because people will have a good experience. And every time I tell people about this mentoring program, the first thing I say is it's not just for women. We're encouraging men to join as well, as especially as mentors, to support women coming up through the industry. So investing the time, thinking about what you want to get from it, and then telling others, so that we can grow this and get the volume that will mean that there are many, many amazing matchings of mentors and mentees.
Thank you so much, Mr. Thomas. I think that really provides an insightful concept on how to proceed with this type of approach to get into the platform, and also to really give of yourself to be matched appropriately. So thank you so much. And then speaking of the platform itself and mentoring in general, just to dig a bit further, what would you consider in your experience from other mentoring programs as well constitutes a great mentor? And at the same time, what kind of features would you say really make a good mentee?
Yeah, okay. So maybe first I start with something that's common to both mentors and mentees, and that is starting off with a mindset that this is going to be a two-way relationship with mutual benefit. There is this, in some people's minds, there's this kind of old-fashioned view that the mentor is here and the mentee is here. And there's this, there's this information going one way, or the learning going one way. And I think, I've been a mentee and a mentor, and I'm always learning. And so the first thing I think, what makes a great mentor and a great mentee is this is this mindset of mutual benefit and a win-win. Everybody wants to be involved in meaningful relationships that are offering value. Relationships that are one way don't generally work for the long term. When we're talking about great mentors, the first thing is listening. We don't need mentors telling their life story and their career story, because 99% of it won't be relevant. So the first thing to do is listen, and to listen with humility and curiosity, and try and understand. It could be that you're talking to someone who really knows what they want, but it may well be that you're talking to someone who doesn't know what they want yet. So asking the questions and figuring them out, and actually being brave enough to say, actually, I'm not sure I'm the best person to help you, maybe, but maybe I know someone who could. So it's listening, humility, curiosity, and commitment to the relationship, because this is building a relationship, and it's often going to be with someone from another organization, another country, maybe another time zone. So it takes an effort. From the mentee, I think the first thing that makes a great mentee is someone who knows the direction they want to go in. As we said before, they may not know exactly. If someone knows exactly the path they want to take, you may say they don't need a mentor because they've got it all figured out. And some lucky people have, but most people have an idea of the direction. They have some choices to make, but they're not quite sure yet. But being organized and knowing what kind of questions that you want to answer, or what kind of gaps you're looking to fill in your knowledge, is important. So being organized, and there's a kind of the mental organization and thinking about where you want to get from this. Then there's the practical organization as well. And I think it often falls on the mentee to take the lead in deciding how do you want to meet. Should you do it on video? Does it need to be phone? Are you close enough to meet face to face? Is it best to do it in the evening or early in the morning? As a mentee, I'm always asking my mentor, when's a good time for you? That actually fits with your agenda. So there's the kind of being organized and prepared mentally and what you want to get from it, and then there's being organized practically about actually making the relationship work, and then coming with positive energy, and a real mindset to learn, and also the mindset to give back as well as to receive. So there's lots more, of course, but I want to leave time for everyone else. So.
Right. Well, excellent advice for both mentees and mentors. So thank you so much for that. I would like to now move to our next panelist, Ms. Keiko Chitose, to give her the floor. A bit of an introduction. Ms. Chitose is a WIN Global Executive and a Nuclear Safety Specialist at the Nuclear Energy Agency. She's been working in nuclear safety for over 30 years and has been a very active member of WIN Global since 1994. So, Ms. Chitose, please tell us, what role has mentoring played in your career in particular?
Thank you very much, Natalie, for your kind introduction and asking this very important question. So mentoring has played a significant role in my career development, both as a mentee and mentor. As a mentee, I got to know many wonderful, experienced people and had the privilege of receiving advices. So I became a member of WIN Global since 1994. And participating in WIN activities has allowed me to meet many fabulous mentors all over the world. And they gave me many positive influences on my career development. And also they shared with me how they face up to difficulties and how they develop their careers. So WIN Global mentors also introduced me new opportunities and also networks that expand my horizons and perspectives. And as a mentor, I have gained satisfaction from sharing my experiences with others who are eager to learn and grow. And I've also improved my interpersonal or communication and feedback skills during this process, and as well as strengthened my own knowledge and by teaching and explaining concepts to my mentees. So being a mentor has been a rewarding experience also for me, as it has allowed me to grow as a professional in the nuclear field. And I have also gained the sense that I'm belonging to the international nuclear society. So mentoring has shaped my professional identity and enriched my career very much.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Clearly a very enriching experience. And on that note, could you talk a little bit about the value you find in intercultural mentorship?
Yes. Due to the cultural differences, it was sometimes difficult to get a correct understanding of my situation because this is very, very different culture. But more than that, mentoring by someone from a different culture can remove barriers that I had unconsciously created for myself. And I am afraid that I'm bringing up a very, very old story. But when I joined the Win Global long time ago, there was a written rule in the nuclear industry in my country that women could not be leaders because it was not the job for female, blah, blah, blah. However, this was not a common perception around the world. And I've met so many females leaders in global network. So understanding cultural differences gives us a bird's-eye views of where we are and what's the most important point. And sometimes new methods and solutions evolve during such communication. And in conclusion, so intercultural mentorship enhances your life. And perhaps one of the main reasons for my participation in this Win Global is that the wonderful encounter with cross-cultural mentorship.
Yes, thank you so much. I think that's a very valuable point, and a lot of our participants would be interested to kind of experience this dynamic. So thank you very much. I would like to mention we did have a panelist that was to join us, Ms. Jeanette Donner, the WIN IAEA president. However, due to complications in her schedule, she will not be with us today. But nevertheless, I'd like to move on to our next esteemed panelist, Ms. Andrea Bachrata. Ms. Andrea is the head of the experimental laboratory at CEA IRESNE and is the leader of WIN-EXI, which is the WIN Global Group of Expertise. So, Ms. Bachrata, great to see you. And I'd like to please ask how mentoring has helped you in particular achieve your career goals.
Thank you. So thank you for invitation. I'm very happy to be here with you. And in a few words, so when I started my career, my studies, that time there were no online options developed as now. So what we offer now, the online mentoring, is a huge revolution already, and it's a step to the future. At that time, when I want to find somehow a mentor, at that time it was not either a title of the mentor. It was not a used word, but I started to feel something like mentoring thanks to in-person guidance and in WIN Global Network. So this was my first feeling of somehow being mentored. And in this environment, I felt very safe, supported. It was quite a friendship there. So what was important and how it shaped me, it's mainly to say that I started to be more encouraged and maybe to start to see my career to be more bolder, more like confident, that it's maybe particular, maybe for women even more. So I started to ask questions and see some role models that we heard also this term that was very important. And I think that without this possibility, without this environment and this friendship and help and open possibility to ask questions and get answers, I would never see myself maybe too soon as a candidate for a leadership position. So really, this was the most the huge impact for me. So it even if it was inside me, but maybe it became more dream and more concrete, and it was turned to real success. But thanks to these discussions and this relationship and I had in this environment. So this was big.
Yes, wonderful. Thank you so much. And speaking of how you mentioned role models and how that encouraged you to see yourself in that light, can you touch upon whether mentorship had kind of helped you to balance between personal life and professional life? Do you have any insights on in that respect?
Yeah, this is very interesting because, for example, I was involved in a WIN as part of communication board, but in France, and I had occasion to get some interview, to ask some interviews to very strong women, let's say, that were like role models for me, and I always took this occasion to ask at the end some bonus question that maybe we will not write, but I would like to see. And this was always the question about like how you succeed, how you can be leader. And I know that you have family, you have a husband, and so on. And and thanks to this, I got a few answers, even from Dominique, that was on an introduction, and also with another French women. And I got some encouragement, some point, some step back. So I really found good answers in this. I will not share them like this, because private discussion, but I was very, very happy that I had this occasion to ask and to see myself not only as a mother or wife, but also to perform a career as well, and that everything can be connected. So this was very important for me.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. It actually takes us back also to the point that Mr. Thomas made at the beginning, that you should know what you want to get out of the mentorship. So as we all come from different situations and backgrounds, there is something for everyone. So thank you very much for sharing that. I'd like to now move to our final panelist, Ms. Patricia Schindler. So I'm very pleased to welcome her to the floor. Ms. Schindler is a leader of WIN Europe and the WIN Global General Secretary. Ms. Schindler, can you hear us?
Natalie, I think
Yes.
she had some connection issues. So if you please can go ahead with her answers.
Okay.
She anticipated that she might have this technical issue, so please, thank you.
Okay, great. Thank you, Melina. So what we wanted to ask to Ms. Schindler was, how has mentoring helped to achieve your career goals? Now, on behalf of her, I will respond as she mentioned in case she had any technical difficulties. So from Ms. Schindler, she mentions, I discovered mentoring in 2012 when I became secretary of WIN France and president of the local branch. A large part of my professional goals were therefore behind me. I still have a job in a very male-dominated environment. I did my internship because I didn't put my name first and people thought I was a man. As a result, at the end of this internship, I got a job with the man who became my first mentor and gave me the tools to continue. This is why in 2012, I created an informal meeting, a monthly exchange lunch. We mutually discovered the difficulties of other women and gave us the tips and tricks we needed to move forward. Mentoring helps you feel not alone. So that was her input. And one other question that we raised to Patricia was, what added value do you find in having a mentor of the same or different gender? She quotes, having a mentor of the same gender can be important when dealing with, for example, pregnancy issues and work-life balance, but it should not be a deciding factor for mentoring. Thanks to her male mentee, she was able to discover other ways of thinking and help him as well find solutions. She felt that those were different, for example, than those that could have been proposed by a woman. The mentee also has the opportunity to discover another way of thinking and acting, should they be from a different gender. So those were the inputs provided by Patricia, and we will keep a note of those. So I'd like to thank at this point all the panelists for their excellent insights. It's been very valuable hearing your opinions and your experiences. And as I mentioned, we will have the opportunity to raise those questions that I see many of you have in a later section on question and answer. But for now, I would like to invite a new section, a very interesting one that we have on from two exciting, sorry for the technical issues, but we have one of our participants here. This will be a discussion from a first-hand testimonial. This will be offered by two ladies, and both of them are part of this excellent mentoring platform that we are discussing today. So first, I'd like to introduce Ms. Eva Petrikova, who participates in Mentor City as a mentor. Here she is. Currently, Ms. Petrikova works at the Nuclear Energy Agency as a policy advisor. She mentors ladies who are leaders in the business, companies across different business sectors, and she also enjoys being a mentor to women who support their husbands' or partner's career. We have also with us her mentee, Ms. Camila Hadid Walid. Ms. Walid is an operator of a nuclear research reactor, RSG gas, in Indonesia, and we will be very pleased to hear her perspectives as a mentee. So let me begin with you, Ms. Petrikova. From a mentor perspective, what are your recommendations to establish a solid relationship?
Hello, everybody. I think the whole mentoring experience is about being honest and being open. It's kind of space of intimacy where you can really be yourself. And I have mentored so many people, and at the end of the day, you discover that it's about managing our anxieties. That the mentor is somebody who is standing next to you, and you are the runner in marathon, and the mentor is somebody who says, go, 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 go. Now it's the time to speed up. Or the mentor is the person that you are standing next to the volley and you are thinking about jumping, and the mentor is the guy who shouts, you either jump or I will kick you. And I think that this is really very important, to be yourself and tell to the mentee, I was in your shoes the time ago. I know how it feels. I am here for you. Don't be afraid. And I think that this don't be afraid is, for me, after many years of experience, the key of the role of the mentor. You are good enough. You are a loved God's baby. Don't be afraid. Go ahead. Because sometimes we have so many mental blocks in our heads. We feel we are not good enough. We are not smart enough. And then when we look around, we say, oh, well, maybe I am. Maybe I'm better than the others. But the mentor is the one who makes you realize, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to shine. Don't be afraid to ask for what you want to achieve.
Thank you so much, Ms. Petrikova. And now I see Ms. Walid nodding. From your perspective, the mentee perspective, Ms. Walid, what are your recommendations to start a conversation with your mentor?
Okay, so before I started my very first meeting with Ms. Petrikova, I did a little bit like stalking work. So I visited her profile, I visited her website, her LinkedIn profile, just to get to know more about her expertise and her skills. So I could find it is really match with the thing that I want to develop in myself. And maybe it seems like I'm preparing for a first date, but I think it's really helpful for me to build my confidence before I start to discuss about this mentorship with her. And the second thing is I always try to never forget to express my gratitude, because she always like giving her precious time, her energy, and her willingness to mentor me. And this is for free. And I'm really grateful for these opportunities. And then the third thing is I also want to like always try to be active and responsive in our discussion. So I'm not only listening to her, but I also share my thoughts, my opinion, and I also ask questions. And like I always try to be responsive to make the communication becomes two-way between me and Ms. Petrikova. And the last thing is, like Mr. Thomas said before, that before we have to know that what value that we want to get from this kind of mentorship program. So before the mentorship starts, I was like doing the list of my purpose and my goals, that what things that I really want to learn from Ms. Petrikova. Yeah, so that's the fourth thing about the recommendation to start a conversation with your mentor.
Wonderful.
Thank you, Natalie.
Yes, thank you, Ms. Walid.
Yes.
And I think that's excellent advice to all those watching that are really motivated to become mentees. It's very, very valuable. Thank you very much. I'd like to go back to Ms. Petrikova and ask if you have already participated in other mentoring programs, and as such, what added value do you find in the one launched by WIN Global?
So yeah, I took part in many programs, both as mentor and mentee, but I do not want to spend time on explaining those programs. I would more focus on the second part of the questions. I think that the unique added value in the mentoring is that it's truly global. And I remember that we started having such discussions already 2 years ago. And then I came to NEA and I saw that it's launched. I was like, oh my gosh, this is incredible. Like this diversity of people that can meet so easily and so smoothly around the globe. And I would never probably meet Camelia, and her gentle heart and smart brain was such an asset in my life. And I am so grateful that I could spend moments with her. But I think it probably we will not meet because she lives thousands of kilometers far from me. And now I feel that there is somebody on the other side of the globe who is so close to my heart. And I know that we have each other and we will continue to be in touch. But without this mentoring platform, it would be probably impossible. And what I really like is the technical side of the platform. So if anybody who is listening right now is thinking about joining or not joining, I would really strongly recommend to join, because also using this platform is kind of gaining new skills, and it's very, very well made. I want to applaud to Mentor City programmers, because it's really, really very customer friendly. And it gives you everything what you need. So it pushes you to organize the next meeting. It gives you the feedback. So, I mean, really, thank you very much. And a good, I'm applauding all the team for this great achievement. And it would be really a pity if we would not spread the number of the people who are taking advantage of it.
Yes, thank you so much, Ms. Petrikova. I think it's wonderful to hear the value that this program has had for you. And in that sense, maybe back to you, Ms. Walid, on a last question as to whether you can share with us the impact that it's had on you having a mentor through this WIN Global platform.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that, Natalie? Because
yes,
there is an issue with my connection.
Yes, of course. So the question is, could you tell us about the impact that this program has had for you as a mentee?
Okay, so I think I believe that I got a lot of benefits by joining with this WIN Global Mentoring Program, because I think since I joined with this program, I became a better version of myself. So one thing that the thing that I learned, that I find a diverse perspective between my mentoring with Ms. Petrikova. So whenever we do that sharing session or discussion, so I found a lot of unique points of view that my mentor shared to me that I never thought before. So it's kind of a new perspective that I got. And also, like, it also helps me to develop my cultural competence, like I learned a new communication way of how Miss Petrikova deal with her coworkers, how she leads her coworkers, and etc. And also it helps me to expand my networks, because from this mentoring program with my mentor, I already being helped by Miss Petrikova a lot. So it's really beneficial for me too. And the last thing is it obviously enhanced my communication skill because my mentor, I believe my mentor is really expert in communicating because she's really expert at that. So yeah, that's the thing that I got from this mentorship program.
Wonderful. Thank you so
Natalie.
much. Thank you, Ms. Walid. I think Ms. Petrikova has the last statement to make.
I just want to really thank once again. And currently I'm free. I have only one mentee, so I would be so happy to continue with any lady. So I just invite you to fill in your profile. And if you want, you can reach out. I would be very happy.
Thank you so much, Ms. Petrikova and Ms. Walid. It's really been wonderful to hear your firsthand experience, and I think it's incredibly motivating to all of us listening today on how to use this platform and what's the wonderful added value. So very appreciated. And with that, I would like to hand the floor back to Melina Belinko. Thank you so much, Melina, for the opportunity, and yeah, the floor is back to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Natalie. And a huge thanks to each of the panelists for sharing your inspiring and interesting insights. We are a little bit behind schedule, as you may know, so I would like to move forward. And now it's my pleasure to introduce Sean Smith. He's the president of Mentor City. So please, Sean, the floor is yours.
Thanks so much, Melina. And it's a real pleasure to be with the Win Global team today. It's so inspiring. It's made my Friday, so I'm very excited about your mentoring program and the journey that you're all going to be a part of, because mentoring changes lives, as you've heard from everyone who's spoken today. So I'm going to show you how to use the platform throughout your mentoring experience. Of course, if you have questions, type them in the chat, and I'll also be available after the presentation for any additional questions that you have. So the first thing that you need to do is create a profile. When you're creating your profile, it's very important to put in your time zone because this is a global program. So all the scheduling of meetings is based on the time zone. Also indicate your languages, because when you're matching with a mentor or mentee, you could search based on the languages that they speak as well. For your role, you could choose to be a mentor and a mentee or one or the other. In my opinion, I feel like everyone could be both, but if you feel more comfortable jumping into the mentor role or to the mentee role, you could select those. And then you're going to select how many mentees you could take on at once. So Eva said she could take on 2 mentees, so she has 1 space available. So she'll come up in search results. You could also choose how many mentors you could take. So you could have up to 2 mentors for this program. That's a great opportunity because different mentors could help out in different ways throughout your career. Your summary, you're going to start to delve into your specialized skills. So as the mentor, what are the skills that you feel comfortable mentoring someone in? And if it's not on this list, you could actually just add it in or type it in as well. And as the mentee, you'll select the areas that you'd like to develop as a result of the program. Meeting locations, this is if you have the opportunity to meet face-to-face, you could type in the cities that you could meet face-to-face in. And of course, things could be virtual right through the platform. So I'm going to show you how that works. The next section of your profile is the employment section. So if you don't have an employment history, you could just skip to the competency section as well. For the competency section, you're going to rate the skills that you'd like to develop. So I'm saying I'd like to develop my leadership skills, my emotional intelligence I'm good at. So you could go through this and rate the skills that you want to develop and the skills that you're outstanding at as well. Once I finish my profile, your top mentors are going to be displayed right away. So right now I'm looking to develop my leadership, my presentation skills, and my self-confidence. but you might be looking for a mentor in a specific job function or who speaks a specific language. Or you might know somebody and you could just type their name in here, and if they're available, they'll show up in search results. So my top mentor is Florencia. She's a 5 out of 5 in terms of compatibility to me. So that's pretty amazing. And then I could see that she has leadership, presentation, and self-confidence that she could help me with. And I have a whole series of additional mentors that I could look at their profiles and see if they're the right fit for me. So I'm going to look at Florencia's profile. So I could take a look at her profile, all her accomplishments, achievements, her career, the skills that she feels that she could help guide me in. And then I could write her a note about why I'd like to have a mentoring conversation with her. So you could maybe mention what really excites you about her experiences, her accomplishments, and why you feel like you'd be able to gain a lot from having a mentoring conversation for her. Or you could just press send the invitation as well. So then Florencia is going to receive an email as the mentor, and she'll decide whether she'll accept the invitation if she feels it's a good fit. And then the mentoring relationship starts. So you have this whole connection section. And in this connection section, you have your mentors over here. You have your mentees as well. One of my mentors is Lisa McBride. And one of the first things you should do after you sent off that request even, is send your mentor a message. So I said, hi, Lisa, good morning. I'm looking forward to our first conversation, because this shows the excitement that you have for having a mentoring conversation with this person. You could also see that there's discussions here. So this one's about presentation skills. So if you want to talk about some best practices, things you want to develop for your presentation skills, this is actually for the whole mentoring program. So everyone could give feedback and support you on this journey. I know presentation skills is always something that we could always develop. So going back to my mentor, Lisa, the next thing I'm going to do is schedule a meeting with her. So I could click on new, and I could select Lisa. Right now it's through Mentor City, so the conversations could all happen on the platform. So I'll show you how that works. You can set a frequency. So if you want to meet every month, this program is 12 months. So of course you do every month for 12 months. And then you're selecting the days and times that both work for you. So I could see that February 20th is available for both of us. And I can look at an afternoon slot. It's all based on our time zones. So I could click on 1:30 and send off this request to Lisa. The other thing that's really important for you to do, and you might even want to do this right from the dashboard before you even send off a request. So I'm going to show you how this works. So on the dashboard, there is meetings availability. So this is like after you finish your profile and you send off an invite, you might want to set this up. So you can click on edit, and now you're setting the times and days that typically work for you. So for me, I can meet on Fridays at lunchtime, that works for me, but Saturday and Sunday I'm busy. Also make sure that your time zone is set here properly or correctly, and you could sync your calendar. So if you have an Outlook or Google Calendar, you could sync your calendar so that the times that you're not available won't show up. So you're not going to double book yourself for meetings. So going back to Lisa, I'm going to actually send off this request to her. And I'm going to say, let's meet on Tuesday, February 20th at 1:30 p.m. and send it off. So as soon as I sent off that request, the number of meetings went up to 1, and the number of hours went to 30 minutes. I could view this upcoming meeting, and I could add it to my calendar. I could take some meeting notes. So if there's something that I want to remember to talk to Lisa about, I could jot it down here. The meeting link is over here. So when it's the meeting time, I just click on that link. There's also a meeting link here. So it's the same room that you're going to use to join every single meeting. So you can always just come to the relationship page and click on the video camera icon. So I'm going to show you how it works. So when you click on the video camera icon, if you want to test your audio and video, we definitely recommend this so that you could ensure that you have the proper browser, you're on the proper system, all those things. You could adjust your microphone and camera as well. And then when you're ready to go, you'll click on join. So this is the video room. And what's great about this is it feels like you're sitting across the table from each other and that you're having a coffee, that you're having a conversation together. The other thing that's very unique is the chat. So you can see the chat is a continuation of the conversation. So you could always look back to what you spoke about wherever it was on the platform. Even the file attachments will come here as well. The other things that you could do on the relationship page is take notes. So if you want to, if my mentor recommended a great book, you could jot it down. It's almost like sitting across the table from each other at a coffee shop. You could also set goals. And Callum and other people spoke about the power of setting goals and knowing what you want to achieve through a mentoring relationship. So this is a way for you and your mentor to collaborate and work together on goals. This really drives the mentoring relationship forward, and it gives you focus because you could look back and say, wow, these are all the things I've achieved over the last 12 months as a result of goals. So you could add goals, you could add sub-goals. So what are the smaller steps that you need to take to reach this big goal? And then set deadlines or due dates for yourself, because that really pushes you to move towards those goals. And of course, you could prioritize them as well. So I feel like goals is one of the most important things for a mentoring relationship to be really successful. The other thing that helps a mentoring relationship be successful is by doing the mentoring agreement. And I recommend doing the mentoring agreement during the first or second meeting with your mentor, because this sets all the expectations for how the relationship's going to work. So how are we going to meet? How frequent? So are we going to meet weekly or monthly? And then for this program, it's a 12-month program. So you have the opportunity to meet with your mentor for 12 months, which is pretty amazing. You're also talking about availability. So you've set that through the dashboard, but you could also talk about the typical times that work for you and how cancellations work. So it's just really getting on the same page for how the relationship's going to work. There's a resources section, and then at the end of the program, there's an evaluation. So this is how you can measure how you've grown as a result of the program. A few other things that I want to show you really quickly is you could tap into the resource section. So there's lots of resources for mentors, for mentees in this section. So if you're unsure about what the mentor's role or what are some questions that you should ask as a mentee, or if you want to take a quiz, you could do all these things so that you make the most out of every mentoring conversation that you have. So there's lots and lots of resources. The best mentors questions. So definitely delve into the resources. The discussion section, this is one of our presentation skills. So come in the presentation skill discussion. You might have other ideas for discussion, so you could let the admins know or the program administrators know about any ideas that you have. And the last thing that I want to share is that you could download the app and you could have the app on your phone and you could do everything through your phone. Even do the video calls right through your phone. So it makes having meetings even more convenient for you. And that's an overview of how the platform works. Again, thank you so much. I'm super excited that you're part of this program, and congratulations.
Thank you so much, Sean, for your clear explanation. This is a very, very useful and exciting platform, and I hope that everyone can enjoy all the features, all the functionalities, and all the resources that also Sean mentioned. So now I would like to open the Q&A session. So please use the Q&A section of the Zoom to raise your questions. And we already have a few. One question is, I would like to know the difference between mentorship and coaching. So I don't know if anyone would like to, any panelist of all the sessions would like to jump in, or otherwise I can suggest. Okay, maybe Callum, Thomas, you're happy to address this one?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, I switched to my phone. Yes, there is a formal definition, and I've heard it lots and lots of times. But I mean, ultimately, I think with mentoring, it can be supporting someone directly in their development, whereas coaching is more asking questions and listening, and then the person finds their own route. So a mentor might switch between being a mentor and a coach in the same conversation or the same meeting. But yeah, my understanding is that mentoring is more about trying to use one person's skills and experience to develop the other, and coaching is more around just facilitating someone's thought process so they can make their own journey. So I'm sure someone listening is going to have a better definition than that, but that's the best I've got on the without having the preparation.
Thank you, Callum. No, I think it's clear. Yeah, very straightforward reply. And I don't know if anyone would like to add something to this question. Otherwise, we can share the next question. When having a mentor from another culture or country, isn't it harder to get good career advice because the other person might be too far from your goal? Who would like to reply? Maybe Andrea?
Yes, okay, so yes, I think that, for example, it was the case for me, but I traveled a lot, and I also live in a country that is not my home country. So maybe, as it was said before, maybe you should identify where you want to go and why, and it's somehow a possibility to have a mentor and then to project your career maybe in that country. I think this is quite a logical step that can be it's worth to think about it in this way. So then you will not you will not do error, because it's even very advantageous to reach someone who is in another country where once you want to go, for example, for studies, for short internship, or even to start your career there. This can be good. If you are just connected with mentor, but without this specific goal, it can have benefits, because I always saw in Win Global and Young Generation, where I was involved before, that but it's more maybe maybe from, I'm not sure if you have a mentee or mentor side, but anyway, you can train your inclusion and diversity skills that is not very easy or maybe natural if you just stay surrounded in your home country with mentors in your country. So there are for sure some benefits, and even if you don't want to move to the country of your mentor or mentee, but if you want to move, this is even the advantage of international mentoring.
Thank you, Andrea. And maybe Camilla, do you want to add something to this question?
Okay, so the question is, sorry, I have to look at the questions. So.
Yeah, I can repeat it.
Okay.
When having a mentor from another culture or country, isn't it harder to get good career advice because the other person might be too far from your goal?
Actually, it happens to me because I am from, the introduction before, I was from Asia and Miss Petrikova is from Europe, so we live really far from each other. But I think it's really weird for me, and I really find the benefits between my relationship with Miss Petrikova because so let's say I want to learn about negotiation skills, and I really practice that in my professional situation. So Miss Petrikova just giving me the guidance, what should I do to develop my skills, and it really works for me because I finally find the solution in my problems or my little problems in my workplace. So I think it's not really become a problems when you are far from your mentor. That's from me, Melina.
Thank you, Camilla. Thank you so much for sharing your experience. So we move on to the next question from Ruth Williams. Thank you, Ruth, for joining today. And she says, I guess we can use Mentor City also for mentoring within a single country only, if desired. Let me check, because I cannot see the question now. That is for connecting mentors and mentees in one specific country. And the platform would also make those matches, right? So I would say the answer is yes, but maybe Sean can explain a little bit further.
Yeah, that's a really good question. Definitely you could search for a mentor within your same city or your same country when you're searching for a mentor or mentee, if that's a preference for you to be able to meet face-to-face. Or you could, of course, search broader around the world for a mentor as well, or mentee. So you could do either one.
Okay, so a follow-up question here. Can one change to be both a mentor and mentee down the line?
Yes, yeah, you could change your profile at any time down the line. When you feel comfortable to jump into both roles as a mentor or mentee, you would just go to your profile and you could adjust it at any time throughout the program.
Thank you, Sean. Thank you for the clarification. We have another question for all the panelists, so please feel free to chime in. When having a mentor from another culture or country, no, sorry, I was already reply. When in the community you find someone who has a profile that matches with your goals, and you did in her like mentor, but there are some language barriers. How can we deal with that? Please, I don't know if you, Sean, would like to, or Callum as well. Please.
I'm happy to start. I think it depends. I think it really depends what the objective is of the mentoring. Like it could be, for example, that you live in Canada, but you're working for a German company or a French company, and then you want to mentor from the other country specifically because you want to learn more about their culture, and then the language barrier would be acceptable and fine. But obviously you need to be able to communicate. So I think it's in the first one or two meetings when you're building the chemistry, there has to be the ability to communicate. And if you're concentrating on topics that are really difficult with a language barrier, then it's probably not going to work. And it's better to identify that early on. But if it's a very technical topic, which often is a bit easier sometimes with the language barrier, or if it's specifically about another culture, then maybe it could work. But I would always encourage people to meet mentors and mentees and see, because you have have the first meeting and see how you get on, and then you take it from there. So if it's a barrier, then you don't continue.
Perfect. Excellent. Thank you for your answer, Callum. Anyone who would like to add something to this question? Otherwise, we can move to the last two questions. A general one: how can we integrate the lessons from mentorship into ongoing professional development? Maybe Keiko, you want to answer or share your insights?
Yes.
Thank you.
So as I mentioned, mentoring is both sides, mentees and mentors. And if we become a mentor, through this experience, we can learn how to listen to the other people's, and that could be the very important skill for our future career development, also as a leader or manager, and also for the technical related career development. We can learn many things from our mentors, and how also their advice widen, expand my future possibility. So I think this mentoring related activities helps me to develop my career more wide, and also it at my future or various possibility.
Thank you. Thank you, Keiko. Yeah, Callum?
Melina, can I tell? I think with a professional development plan, mentoring is something that can work alongside. So it could be that your mentor gives you ideas to add to your professional development plan, or it could be there's something on your plan that your mentor can help you answer. So it could go either way, but it very much sits alongside alongside a development plan, I think.
Perfect. Thank you, Callum. And maybe this follow-up question, how can mentors help us to have a lot of expertise in the nuclear field? A lot of expertise. That sounds good. Maybe Andrea, you want to?
Okay. I think that they can just maybe give idea about orient you, for example, to the good steps, but they are not there because maybe to learn you some because it's maybe more oriented to friendship discussion or problem solving, but in a decision making in your career or and so on, your integration in environment and so on. About technical skills, I think the mentors, it is even a little bit somehow protected, and there will be some information that there is not to exchange really technical discussions, because the mentors can be even high level placed, and it's not the idea to maybe to enter into technical discussion, but they can maybe orient you like where to find the technical information in your problems or so on, like good best practices, maybe where to find a bibliography, or what you can do as a training, what they, for example, like title of training, what you can look around your area and so on. So I think this is the way.
Great, thank you. Thank you, Andrea. And the next question is there a possible way through which mentees can share their CVs among the mentors for connections and referrals? Yeah, Sean, thank you.
Yeah, when you're messaging your mentor, you could attach your CV in the message section to share it with them.
Thank you, Sean, for the clarification. We have a very good one that I would like to share with everyone. When in the program you start like a mentee and you want to shift and become a mentor, it depends to you or to your mentor to say, yes, I think you are able to be a mentor now. How can you know that now you are ready? Or maybe Callum?
I think everybody's ready to be a mentor because it depends what the other person looking to learn. Everyone's been on a journey and someone else can learn from that. So I think everybody is ready to be a mentor, is my personal view.
I agree. I completely agree. And maybe anyone would like to add something or your insights. I think also Sean mentioned that during his presentation, that everyone can play both roles and everyone can benefit from the experiences, the insights of the other, no matter the age, the experience, the gender. So the very last question. So it is possible for newcomer countries to join the mentor-mentee program? Yes, of course, and we really encourage you to join. All the countries, all the WIN Global and the chapters belonging to our network. Of course, we are willing you to have an active involvement in this platform. And in this program, is of course, as Callum mentioned, it is we people who make this program work and who add value to this program. Of course, the platform is very useful and please join, take part, but we, the people, make the difference here. And with this, if there are no more questions, I don't see any further questions in the chat. So I am happy to see we are on time. So great. Thank you so much to all participants around the world. A huge thanks to all the panelists, the speakers, and again, please join this program. You have the link there. This is for free. At all stages of your career, you can join, and this program can make the difference. So, and please feel free also, if you have any further questions after the session, to send us an email and to reach out. We are happy to support you. We are here for you. And yeah, I think with that, we officially close this virtual launch. Thank you so much again, and a big applause, yes, to each of us for taking part, for being part of this milestone for WIN Global. And yeah, stay tuned and yeah, have a great weekend. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.